Good afternoon. This is Kelsey Mansray with EXP Realty here. If affordability is what you're looking for and you don't mind driving a little further out, then you may want to consider Millington, Tennessee as an option for you in terms of your home buying search. I'm in front of this house here. It's off of Raleigh-Millington Road, and it's also located in Millington. And it's a 4-bedroom, 2-bedroom house. The house is listed at $129,900. Property is also located in Waverly Plantation subdivision. So if you'd like to learn more about this particular property and you're interested in purchasing a new home and affordability is what you're looking for in a suburb of Memphis, then Millington may be a great option for you. So thank you so much. We're going to go take a look inside. If you have any questions, again, my phone number is 901-451-8089. As you can see in the video, a lot of work needs to be done in terms of repairs. So I just wanted to give those investor hopefuls some tips, some things to think about before you start investing. Keep in mind that it is not for the faint at heart, but it's a great opportunity, a great way for you to build wealth, and then also to leave a legacy. So I wanted to share a few tips for you so that you can keep some things in mind, and also some resources for you to follow up on so that you feel more comfortable and more informed about being an investor. So first of all, here are a few tips. My suggestion is that you don't buy in war zones, okay? There's great opportunity elsewhere, but I know a lot of people have to find a way to get started. So you have to consider all of the things that could potentially occur, with a certain kinds of tenants. So you have to keep a lot of things in mind. So you can look at homefacts.com to find out about crime in an area. And then of course you can reach out to the local officials to find out. Just make sure that you feel comfortable in a certain area because you do want to be safe. So before you buy a property, you have to kind of figure out your long-term and your strategic plans. How long are you planning to keep the property? Are you planning to fix and flip and sell it retail with an agent like myself? Or are you planning to buy the property, fix it up, and hold it for a while as another means of ongoing income? So that's a great way too to also build wealth and have equity over a long period of time. And then you could even potentially build that equity so that you can buy a bigger property and make more profit. So there's a lot of things to keep in mind. Thirdly, you may even consider speaking with a tax professional to see if there are any implications that you need to keep in mind. Within your strategic plan, you need to develop a backup plan or extra strategy. So let's say that you decide to sell the property retail. What if the property sits on the market for 6 months? Do you have enough reserves to cover that time frame of a mortgage if you're looking to have a mortgage on that particular property? Can you handle that? There's also chances that you will need to repair the property while you're holding it, if that's something you're looking to do. In Memphis, we have storms. If there are a lot of trees over in the area, chances are you may have to repair the place or a roof. You never know. So we're going to talk a little bit about doing a general walkthrough and home inspections and how important that is upfront when looking at a property. But these are some things you need to consider. Do you have the reserves to cover you if you need to fill a vacancy? Let's say that your renter decides to leave the rental property and skip town in the middle of the night, and now you have to cover the mortgage. Can you handle that? So I just want to, put some things out there so that you feel a little more comfortable about becoming an investor. So you always need to have an exit strategy or two planned in case you need to move forward. And so that all occurs with education. You must educate yourself before becoming an investor. You can always go to these investment clubs and learn more. You can just learn by listening to people's experiences over the years in being an investor. Typically, the investment groups have several classes. You don't have to pay thousands of bucks to learn how to be an investor. That's something that I chose, but that's not necessarily something that you have to do. I've attended a lot of the investor clubs meetings and weekend sessions where there's a speaker that comes and travels to the investment group to share their knowledge. So that's a great way for you to learn about investing without having to break the bank to learn about investing. One thing that's important is, what kind of tenant base are you looking at? Will you be able to handle the tenant base? You can get an idea about the tenants that may rent out your property by looking at demographics. You can also speak with a property management company, ask them questions about what type of tenant to expect, what type of programs may be available through the city government, and then also the length of time it typically takes to fill a property. But you also want to maximize the amount of income that you receive. So you have to look at the market rent also. Rentometer.com is an awesome tool that I've used over the years. Rentometer.com to gauge what the rents might be. You might even look at Zillow.com or Realtor.com, but your best source would be the property manager or the property management companies in the area. You may want to call 3 or more to find out what they would charge for rent in that particular area based on the type of property that you're looking for. So you need to have a really good idea of the kind of property you desire before you call the property management company also. And then also you have to think about, are you going to manage the property yourself? Are you going to deal with the toilets, trash, and tenants? If there's an eviction that needs to be done, are you going to handle that process? Are you going to hire an attorney to handle that process? What are you going to do? You got to think about all that stuff, These are people's lives. You want to make sure that they feel comfortable in the residence, and then also you want to make sure that they don't tear up your hard-earned money investment. So there's a lot of things to keep in mind, and I just want to share some of my knowledge with you so that you can be a better investor. Also, are you looking to have a general contractor come and fix up the property, or are you planning to do it yourself? Now, if you're a skilled contractor yourself and you're already well aware about how to fix the house and know things about architecture and remodeling, then that may be a good option for you. But if you have a full-time job already and you have family and you have a lot of obligations on your plate, I don't know if a do-it-yourself project may be worth your time and money. So you have to kind of weigh the options yourself. Everybody is different, but there's something certainly that you can do yourself if you have the time and the energy to make the repairs, or if you have the money and not a lot of time, then you may want to reach out to a general contractor. But if you don't know where any are, one tip that I've heard is that you could go to a Home Depot or a Lowe's early in the morning before they open up, and the contractors that are standing there waiting for the place to open up, that's a good place to find a contractor. Now let's talk about just calculations, okay? How do you figure out if a property is a good investment? So let's look at the after repair value. So how do you calculate that? Either utilize your own sources like Realtor or Zillow, and look at other properties that are close within the area, maybe within 5 or 10 miles of the property that's on the market now, and see which properties have already sold. Not just the properties that are on sale, because that's kind of what people want to sell their properties for. You need to know what are properties actually selling at. So look at the sold prices. If you need help with that, reach out to a competent realtor and ask them for comps. So if you decide to fix up the property and sell it, how much are you going to sell it for? That's the after repair value. How much is the property worth when it's on the market to be sold to a retail home buyer? Sometimes people will want a property to be listed at a certain price, but you have to keep in mind that you want to sell the property at the price that home buyers will actually pay for it. That way you get the property sold. But some general things to keep in mind is looking at the bare minimum. Do you see cracks? Because if you do see cracks anywhere, that can be an indication of a foundation issue, and that can be very expensive. I actually worked with someone to correct foundation on a property that I did fix and flip. So it can be very expensive. And then also look at the gutters. Look at the gutters in the house. See if there's a water issue too. When you're looking at the roof, you want to check to see how many layers are on the roof. Is it bending towards the edges? Are there too many layers? You can check with your home inspector to see how many layers should you be looking for or not, what should not be on the property. You want to, of course, look for leaks. Check for the electrical. Do the lights turn on and off? Are the faucets working? Those are just a few things, but you want to keep in mind that there may be a different spread depending on the area. So if you're looking at a luxury area or a highly sought after area, then the spread may be less than maybe a middle income area where you may be able to get more. Here's a general rule. You may look at a middle income area. Maybe you may want to look at getting maybe $40,000, maybe $30,000. But you also have to keep in mind, sometimes things come up when you're remodeling a house. You may only plan to do certain upgrades, and then you find out after you make a change that you have to shift gears because there's rotten wood somewhere and you have to fix that. So that's just an example, but there are a lot of things to consider. So I think that's about it, but I did the tour today of the property in Millington. I wasn't certain if I wanted to post the video because the house wasn't all super pretty and beautiful like a lot of the other properties that we look at and us realtors look at, but it can be. It's a gem that can be built into something for a new family, and they could really enjoy and make it a home. If you do find success, please let me know. I'd love to hear from you. That would do my heart good to know that I've been able to help you and several other families in their investment journey. Remember, I'm not an attorney, nor am I not a tax professional. I'm a realtor and a local investor, and I hope you found this video informative. I'm Kelsey Ray with EXP Realty. Have a good day.